Hello, everybody. I am here to bring you the first game of the semifinals between Spleebie and Krithel. This is going to be our second to last week of HMG tournament. Hybrid Major Glitches is our glitch mode that we have chosen for this year. It's a mode that allows out-of-bounds clips in both the underworld and the overworld. Unfortunately, there will not be a restream for Game 2, but we will be able to follow the runners and watch them as they will be racing this at 3 p.m. Eastern for Game 2 and hopefully bring it to Game 3 for tomorrow. And we're off, starting at Link's house with the heart piece. Already a map check. We got a green pendant at top of map at Hera, red crystal at desert, and a normal crystal at Eastern. All right, both of them have chosen to go to Sahasrar's Closet. It's an early play for progression that helps you find more things in the later plays in the light world. So if you find that lamp, it makes the mountain a little easier. All right, they're just trading places, doing hobo at different times. So very much mirroring each other's movements. Got a map in Sanctuary that might come into play later when they decide to full clear the rest of the escape. That's that many more items to find when they go. All right, nice early bombs for both runners, finding them on the tree poles and then the checks they have done. It's going to help them. If they decide to go to Kakariko, they'll be all set for that. If they decide to go mountain into South Shore, they'll have weapons for the Moldorms at Mini Moldorm Cave if they go there. Krithel choosing to pick up the blue boomerang. It's a good thing to have early because if you decide to go into Hera, you can hit switches without using up your bombs. Hera is a good early play because there can be 2 items in the front with the way the key logic works. You can be expected to take a Meyer key and open Hera. So the big key of Hera can be upstairs, and that allows 2 items to be placed in the front. And getting that early information is also important. All right, so Krithel has decided to go up the mountain from the woods instead of going to Kakariko. This is it's always a bold play when you go here with 3 hearts because sometimes the dead rocks just get in your way. The lamp does make the old man a little bit faster. Spleebie has gone south to Kakariko, hoping to find some early safeties to make the rest of it easier and potentially give him some more guidance on where to go next. Because right now, you know, they have nothing pointing them in any particular direction, so they just have to choose something. And there we have it, a bow and a sword. So the bow and the sword it's something that points in a direction, right? And they have the lamp as well. So Spleebie can go to Eastern in Logic now, can go to Pod and clear a good portion of it by clipping from Spectacle Rock. I missed what was in the basement cage on Krithel's side, but he found a rupee in the other chest and seems to have chosen to exit Hera, which you would do anyway without a weapon. Oh, and there's another sword on Spectacle Rock. All right, so we got something like a map or compass and an item in the front of Hera. So there is an item upstairs and the green pendant, and it is locked by the Mire medallion. So they are supposed to go into Mire to clear that dungeon if they choose to. It is a pendant, they don't have to. Krithel does not have enough health to do the bomb clip to get to the sword, so he's just gonna go there the normal way and try and hover back. Doesn't make it, saves and quits. Hovering back is one of those things you just like might as well try to do, and if you don't make it, you just save. Hovering there is a little bit more risky, so he doesn't go for that. Hookshot in Kakariko. All right, Kakariko has some value for Spleebie. He already has Master Sword and will get tempered when he goes to the mountain. You might be wondering why people put off Kakariko at all, because you think like, oh, you go here, you usually find something good, right? But if there's something good at a location that Spleebie can't get to right now, like Sick Kid, that could be a huge boon for Krithel. But that does depend on Krithel finding those items that unlock things in Kakariko that Spleebie can't do. And he's about to enter an area that also has some item-locked checks that he'll have to skip. He won't be able to do Checkerboard Cave without a glove. Will not be able to do... Well, normally would not be able to do Back of Desert without a fire source, but he actually has one this time, so we'll have that option. Mountain's coming up mostly empty for Krithel, just a sword. Oh, and takes a death on the Tektite. Unfortunate. I wonder where he goes next. Does he try and do the mountain again, or does he just... Alright, he's going to do mountain, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's returning to where he left off. This is... Okay, he is going back up. Deciding he does want these checks. Follow through with it. Only lose about a minute. He can drop straight down from this land bridge that he's about to clip to get to Paradox Cave. Since he's already done Spiral, he doesn't need to be at the top. If you're wondering what that sign says, currently it says Glan and Christos Owen as the winners of the previous glitch tournaments, and it might say Krithel or Spleebie on it after this one's over. So keep your eye on that. Spleebie, meanwhile, has gotten the bad key layout in Desert and will have to backtrack to the big chest. Gets an item in the big chest. I missed if there was an item in the other chest he opened. I was looking at the death. But that might determine whether he does Desert now or comes back with better equipment. Because he can do it now, he can clip past the rocks, but he won't be able to exit once he's done it, so he'll have to do it last. Luck is not on Krithel's side. He's not found anything good on the mountain. Still continuing on this play, though. I'm probably going to clip off the mountain this time to get to South Shore. Get some money from the Houlihan Cave, because this does break your camera. Oh, he's going straight for King's Tomb. King's Doom is a Sphere 1 location people often leave behind because you can't route it into anything without the mitts. So you just have to do it by itself. Just a piece of heart. Okay, finally making the play to Kakariko. This will get him the stuff he needs to continue. Now, he could have done South Shore as well, but he doesn't have much of an incentive to go there right now. Yeah, you don't have to pick up the rock to do King's Tomb clip. It's something people do because it's fun to pick up the rock. And it's often just what people learn, but you can also just slash the bush and walk, because you are on both at once, and you can choose which direction to go, essentially. Alright, Spleebie is choosing to take care of Desert. Trying to go for a hook speed clip. Instead, just going to boots clip past it. He's a little bit high. There you go. Spleebie's weaponry isn't really the best. He does have... He can do Master Sword spins and do a little extra damage, and he has 25 arrows, so if his NMG landmo is strong, he can take care of this fight pretty quickly. He's going for bombs to get some extra damage. Loses his sword beams, but doesn't seem to be choosing to use them anyway. He's going to go switch to the bow to get some extra damage in. It is really hard to hit these heads with the arrows. And if you're usually doing glitched runs, you're not really practicing this fight as much as an NMG runner might. He does have to be careful. Landmo does do a whole heart of damage on any male if you get hit by the head. If you get hit by the rock, it's fine, but he is one hit from death. Makes it, though. Very careful dodging those rocks. Positioning himself where they won't spawn on him. Well, Krithel will have slightly better equipment with the Tempered Sword. Can kill them in 2 spins. We'll probably go for a combination of spins and slashes if he decides to do this fight. Does not have any of the items that unlock extra checks and cacks, so the early play to the mountain is not giving him any benefit. Spleebie is going straight for South Shore, not doing a mountain into South Shore check. I'm thinking maybe he wants to save mountain for when he gets Moon Pearl, because then he could do Hookshot Cave, and if he finds the mirror, he can do it with East Death Mountain, and that would be very efficient. Doing this now makes sense for him because he has Zora money, does not need to take Houlihan to get money, so can just go straight for these checks. Gets his first bottle at the dam. So Sick Kid is a little bit isolated. If you do a South Shore rush, you would have had that going into CAC, but he does have the option. If he knows the clip to get to Eastern from Kakariko, he could check Sick Kid into Eastern. There's a map wrap you can do. It's a little risky, you can hard lock, but if you do it from a save and quit, it's not really that big a deal. A glove from the Mini Moldorm Caveman. Another check that was isolated. Another glove. They have Mini Moldorm Cave. And another bottle. 2 of everything in South Shore. It's like Noah's Ark. Early mitts in glitch modes is portentous. So Normally, Moon Pearl alone gives you Dark World access, but there are a couple items, the Mitts and the Mirror, that will also give you a limited amount of Dark World access, meaning that your Moon Pearl can be placed in locations like Ice Palace and Super Bunny Cave. Those locations are open to him now. Going for the chest turn. Misses both of them. Expect to see more of those as the run goes on. Gets Ether in Waterfall Fairy. Oh, there's a mirror. Okay, so the mirror on Zora Ledge. Now Spleebie is hoping that Zora drops nothing. This is the one mode you actually want to get scanned by Zora, because if there's something on the ledge and Zora drops progression, you have to do 2 trips to get them. Or you have to splash delete, which he does have the bow for if you wanted to, but clipping here is a little bit easier, so Spleebie will be going for the clip. He's going to kill some Zoras to make sure that he doesn't get hecked, because he knows this is important. This out-of-bounds area is a little bit awkward to navigate because everything is a diagonal wall, so you can't dash, really. You have to walk. There are clips that let you get straight into the fence, but they're a little bit more precise, and you can soft walk if you don't remember how. Okay, I think Spleebie is now ready for the mountain. Would have been nicer if he had also had the Moon Pearl, but at this point, there isn't much left in terms of density. I think Eastern would be his best bet, but he can do Eastern with the mirror as well. He can do Pod into Eastern by clipping. That is an option to him. He has not quite gotten the fast Death Mountain ascent into Old Man Cave, but he knows the backup and he is clipping down from an invisible ledge. He was actually standing on what would be bumper ledge in the light world. You can't really see it. He's using that little corner area to clip down. Krithel takes out Landmo as well for 50 rupees, so there was an item on the boss. The mountain is a lot safer when you have a sword and 4 hearts. Spleebie can do Moldorm with Haripot. It's not in logic to do Haripot in this mode, but it is a green pendant, and he hasn't been to Sahasrala's. Well, he has, but he hasn't been to Eastern yet, so he has the option to route those together. And there is an item upstairs, and another thing that you want here is you want the Hera Small Key, which is kind of weird to say, but Hera Small Key gives you an option to unlock Swamp Palace. You're not supposed to use the Hera Small, you're supposed to use a Mire Small, but it's faster. It's one less dungeon to navigate to get from Hera to Swamp instead of Mire to Swamp. So most people will end up climbing Hera even when it's a pendant just to find that key. Finds the big key upstairs, showing the flavor of this mode, and a small key. So the other thing that might happen is Hera's small key might be locking an item in the basement, which is the reason that you're not supposed to use it in Swamp. And that's Moldorm down for Spleebie. Going into the Dark World without the Moon Pearl. To check his map, he's got Ice Palace and Thieves Town. Those are not the friendliest pendants. We might be seeing a pedpole in this seed. Interesting that he goes into the Dark World just to check his map, because then he clips on top of Spec Rock and jumps down. Sees the sword. He's going to go for it. Surprised he doesn't hover. He's pretty proficient at it. But again, it is punishing if you fall and miss that sword. And I'm also disappointed he doesn't do the bomb clip, because you can also bomb clip to the item, and that's pretty fun too. He's going to bomb jump out to continue on his Dark World route. He saves and quits. He decides not to. He's going to go to pod. All right, this is some on-the-fly rerouting from Spleebie. He has fallen into Spectacle Rock Cave, which happens to be a gateway into a dungeon. He's going to use it. No, he's going to drop down. He's proving me wrong. Because he hasn't... I don't think that's faster than saving and quitting. All right. I disagree, Spleebie. Should have gone into pod. Okay, Krithel's doing his South Shore, getting his mitts and his 2 bottles, and he's going to get the mirror shortly as well. I wonder if he thought about pod and then decided not to. Thinking he could find a hammer up here potentially and get to single dip it, and he knows it's a crystal, so he does want to go in with the hammer. Krithel came to land. No, dude. Okay, so he can still splash delete to that mirror. But yeah, he did come to land. He lost his water walk. And now he's feeling the pain of that, having to dash all the way around in the shallow water, and he's going to have to splash delete for that mirror. He knows how to splash delete from the speed run, so he should be good. It's a bit tight on the timing because you do have to swim pump to get down fast enough. He's going to go for it. I'm not... Why was I even worried? He just whips out the splash delete like it's nothing. It's going to get his mirror. I think he actually saves time over clipping. That was a really good splash delete. There's clipping, unless you do the fast way where you go into the fence, is quite slow. Because you have to walk all the way around. And then you have to walk all the way around again. Nice chest turns from Spleebie, redeeming himself after Waterfall Fairy. Ah, misses the last one. Krithel is screen wrapping himself. He's going to the escape. So this is a screen wrapped mirror portal placement that he's doing. He's going to set up his camera to be unwrapped or wrapped, and then every time he falls down the mountain, his map position gets offset. You could see that if you pay attention to when he maps that he's not actually on the mountain, and when he places his mirror portal, that's where it goes. So right now his mirror portal is sitting at Hyrule Castle Courtyard, and he can use it to clip into Pyramid Fairy. To do so, he will have to get off the mountain somehow, and he is going to do a Death Mountain descent, and then clip over using this, what we call a river clip. It's going to get him to Hyrule Castle top, and he can either go straight into the Pyramid Fairy, or he can go into Hyrule Castle and then do Pyramid. Let's see where he goes. Yeah, he's going into Hyrule Castle first. This is optimal random routing for Pyramid Fairy. Because you do want to correct your camera so that you can continue if you do find a Moon Pearl here. He's having trouble finding the entrance. There you go. He recently dropped silvers in the speedrun, so he's not as used to going straight to the castle. He usually goes to the silver arrows, which would be at Pyramid Fairy. So this is somewhat new movement for him. Spleebie is following behind as well, doing the Pyramid Fairy wrap. I don't believe Spleebie has descended the mountain to Graveyard Ledge yet, so he has the option to do that instead. Yeah, he's going to do that. Probably take Houlihan as a shortcut. He doesn't need the money, but... Oh, no, he's correcting his camera. That surprises me. Because he can't drop into the back of Escape and keep his mirror portal unless he walks through and exits from Zelda and Priest at the Sanctuary, like he's doing the normal Escape. So yeah, he's going to... Oh, he has the mitts. He can do King's Tomb. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, so when he transitioned north there, he was fixing his camera so he doesn't get Houlihan, which surprised me because I would have thought he would take Houlihan on purpose. But I think he's going to do the same clip Krithel did, because that's his preferred method of getting to Pyramid. It might even be faster. I actually don't know if it's faster to come from King's Tomb this way. This does get you directly to the castle, though, which is nice. Interesting that both runners have not done the back of Escape drop down. So Krithel's probably going to go all the way through. Okay, I see what he's doing. Yeah, he's gonna just unlock the door and save and mirror out, which makes sense because he can just do the drop down after. Opening that door was investment into his future. So if he wants to unlock Swamp without a Meyer key to save a little time, he can steal the key from Keyrat by clipping from Hera. It's a little complicated, but you can take keys from dungeons into other dungeons if the game thinks you're in the other dungeon. So if you start in Hera and you clip to the sewers and you kill the key rat and grab the key, it becomes a Hera small key. And then you can take that Hera small key into Swamp. And unlock a door in Swamp. Krithel has chosen to pick up the red mail, which is interesting because he doesn't have a Moon Pearl yet. So he has to death warp a little bit. That's a play for his later future and not his near future. Because his near future, that's going to inconvenience him. But it might save his life later. Both of them getting the missing big key message at Zelda's cell. It's pretty funny. Let's see if Spleebie makes the play for Keyrat Seal. I don't think he needs to, because I think he got an item from Moldorm, so has a free key to spend. I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have when he killed Moldorm, if he got the item or not, but we'll see from his behavior if he chooses to either go straight to the back of Escape or mirror out at Dark Cross without opening the door. We know that he has gotten both items in Hera. There's no point in stealing this key if you have a Hera key that you can spend. Kena Samaria in back of Escape, which opens up more of Turtle Rock. You can mirror clip into Turtle Rock. So Spleebie is going to continue to back of Escape. He knows he can spend this key because he got both items in Hera and the small key that he can freely spend in Swamp without guilt. Krithel is going to Pod. This is screen wrapping that you can do to get straight to the bottom of Spectacle Rock. So Krithel does have the mirror. It's not shown on his tracker, but he can do Pod into Eastern if he wants to. And that's a very efficient play for him. He can do 2 dungeons. Well, he doesn't have the hammer, but he can at least get a ton of checks in Pod very efficiently. He doesn't have anything slowing him down here. He just will have to come back for Helmasaur at some point. And as you can see, getting to Pod is not so bad. You can just clip there. It's not like you have to walk all the way through the maze again. So hammerless Pod is not nearly as bad as it might be otherwise. Both of them are chasing down that Moon Pearl. Running out of Light World locations. So we're starting to look into some spicier glitch mode specific locations for the Moon Pearl. Spleebie is finishing up his escape play. Does not have anywhere to go after this. He probably will be following in Krithel's footsteps. Also choosing the red mail. Very interesting decision when you know you will have to potentially death warp to get link state in dungeons in the dark world. That can slow you down a little bit. I think they don't want to take any chances. Both of them know they cannot afford a death against the other player. Yeah, there he goes. Also doing the clip that gets you to Spectacle Rock Cave. Interesting that he could have done this earlier and had... When he fell down, he had the option to do this and chose not to, and was probably hoping to find the hammer and just hasn't. So this is his best play now. I'm trying to think of... It seems like Krithel's a little bit ahead. If Spleebie did something Krithel did not do, I might be... I'm trying to think of where Krithel would have gained time on Spleebie, especially taking that death on the mountain. I think Spleebie did Moldorm. That might be the difference. So if there's something on the green pendant, that's going to be a time debt that Krithel will be paying back later. If Krithel just chooses to do Moldorm anyway, he's going to pay back that time debt as well. Both of them have awkward checks remaining for them in Kakariko and Desert, having found items in South Shore that unlock checks in Hera Desert, or in Kakariko Desert. They got Bottle for Sick Kid and a glove for Checkerboard Cave. But Checkerboard Cave's not so bad because actually Meyer's Shed is open to them now as a Moon Pearl location. They could clip to the rock at Flute 6 and then get to Krithel. I was thinking maybe he was going for basement clip, but no, he's still got to do Dark Maze. All right. Oh, he could do basement clip right now. That's actually crazy. He has the ability. It looks like he skipped keys on the Bowlock side, so got the good layout in pod that lets you do that. But it does require... Oh, I see what's happening. He's resetting the room. He keeps getting hecked in Hammer Yump, and every time he does that, he has to reset the room. Unfortunate. All right, try again. Going for the Hammer Yump. He has to do the Hammer Yump because he skipped keys. These are keys that you can only skip in Hybrid because it requires you to open a door in Cave State to give yourself an extra key, essentially, that you can skip in the Bowlock side if you find that there are 2 keys there. The other one you skip by doing Hammer Yump. So this is required for him if he doesn't want to do an extra trip to the Bowlock side. Normally when you get back here, you have like 3 or 4 keys, and he only has 1. Oh, he's doing it. This is good. He has Kane out. Oh, come on. Let's do it. Oh, I was hoping we'd see this. Okay, so this is the technique to get to Helmasaur in the world record all dungeons RMG speedrun. So what you do is you get spin speed here, and then you pick up an invisible object, which in this case will be a bouncing Samaria block. And he gets spin speed, uses the spin speed to clip into the bottom of this diagonal wall. He's using the bow to buffer his inputs because he doesn't have a sword available to use. In spin speed, you cannot use your sword. He's going for select buffers now. He does have to do a 1-frame teleport. The 1-frame teleport is going to take him to the top of the railing, which he can use to clip in, using a series of 1-frame movements to shimmy himself downward a little bit. Wow, he's doing this great. Any wrong movement, though, can pop him out, and that's why this is such a rare play to see. It takes a lot of practice. It's not necessarily that any one step of it is difficult, but because you have to chain so many of them together and not mess up, it can be quite intimidating to learn. He's doing it really well, though. So now he turns up and puts a bomb down, moves another frame so that the bomb knocks him in the right direction. And that puts him down a little bit more, and then he dashes in, and he gets it first try. Amazing. Thank you for showing that off. This is our first basement clip of the Hybrid Major Glitches tournament. He saved time. That was fast enough that it was faster than just going through the basement, I believe. Even if he had had the hammer, I'm pretty sure that saved time. Incredible. Meanwhile, Spleebie is going through Eastern. Yeah. So, Hammerless Seed, good point. Ice Palace is a pendant. So, that's the other dungeon that requires a hammer in this mode. Ganon's Tower is the big... Oh, funny. Okay, so Ganon's Tower is the big question mark for hammer, but Spleebie finds it in Eastern, so it's not actually going to be a Hammerless Seed. But it could have been. Ganon's Tower does have a ton of checks that are locked by the hammer, and if the big key is there, then you can't skip the hammer. Hammer for Swamp is not required. You can do some shenanigans to flood the dam from the inside. Or not the dam, but the floodgate. The one part of Swamp that requires a hammer, you can just flood from Hera, and then do Swamp from the front or from the middle. Krithel just skipped the hammer. He's about to find it here. But it doesn't matter. He still saved time by not having to double dip pod. I wonder if Spleebie saw that pendant ice and thought, oh god, he knows that Krithel can do this. Will do it if he has the chance. I don't think Krithel lost time to Spleebie because he did pod, and Spleebie will have to go back for that. And he did it fast enough that I think he even saved time over doing the basement normally. Oh, the hammer jump fails, sure, yeah. He definitely took extra time going through pod. That's true. He didn't lose time because of the basement clip, though. That was almost certainly a beneficial play for him. And also just looked really cool. I'm so glad that we got to see it in this tournament. And we'll have more chances to see it in the finals and bronze match, because both of these runners will be showing up for either finals or bronze. So we'll get to see more of them as the tournament concludes. And there's hammer for Krithel. I bet he loves to see that right after he skips it for Helmasaur. But he doesn't have to go back into his mirror like Spleebie does, because Spleebie will probably, he's doing it right now. He has to death warp because he's in the wrong world now. He's a bunny. He had to go all the way here to get to an enemy. He has a red mail. Remember when I talked about the red mail slowing down death warps? That is what he is running into right now. He's losing all that time that he got from Krithel missing hammer jump by having to death warp in here. Yeah, this is exactly why I questioned the red mail pickup from both runners. Yeah, this is very slow. Oh, you got the fairy out just in time. Good call. Imagine if you got revived after doing all that death warping. That would feel so bad. We're going to see Krithel's lead. Other than Hera, he is going to be in Armos before Spleebie is in Helmasaur. So it's going to be just that Hera difference that Spleebie has. If something is on green pendant, Spleebie is ahead. If there's nothing there and Krithel gets to skip it or do it in just for the small key and go to Swamp, then Krithel is ahead. Of course, there's still a lot of seed left to go. We haven't found either of the rods that we need for TR. We have not found the flippers that we need for Swamp. But I believe that's all we need. It's potentially bombos for Meyer, but other than that, we just need 2 rods and flippers. The Krithel is clipping up to the witch. I don't think he has a mushroom, but he does have potions that he can buy, and the potions will help him get around the Dark World faster. It's not in logic to use the glitch. Oh, he almost hard locked. Okay, don't dash in. He was careful enough to notice that his screen transition was not fixed. I'm glad that he didn't just dash into that. So there we go. We've got blue potions for Krithel. He's going to use them to perform a glitch called Fake Flute. You drink that potion on a screen transition, it puts you in the flute menu. You can do this in the Dark World as well. And when you flute down in the Dark World, you get Super Bunny, and you can get a link state off of that by pulling a tree. That's going to let you check some of the in-logic Dark World checks a little bit more efficiently. You're supposed to go down as a bunny, mirror clip off the mountain, and then mirror super bunny into these checks. It's very slow. He's not going to have to do that with the blue potions. He can just get Link State real quick and do the checks as Link. The Link State will last until he exits the underworld, so he doesn't get free reign at the dark world, but he does get a little bit of extra speed. And that's Helmosaur down for Spleebie. No shenanigans for him, just walk to Helmosaur with his hammer. Krithel's using a bonk setup to put himself on the screen transition and gets a clean fake flute to 3. He does have to get off of the fake light world screen so that he can actually access the tree pole that's at Thieves Town. He has to be careful not to get hit. If he gets hit, then he loses his Super Bunny and will not be able to pull Thieves Town. We'll have to do everything normally with the mirror. He's going to bomb open some walls here so that he can get this as a bunny. Oh, he doesn't have any bombs. That's okay. He can just do Thieves Town. If he death warps in Thieves Town, he'll get... Oh, here we go. Red mail time. Death warping on half a heart on a Zazak. So when he dies, and you're wondering, like, why is he death warping? He's already Link. Because when he dies, the game puts him in the dark world, in the light world again. Because in the vanilla game, the game doesn't expect you to die in the dark world at all. So it'll just put you in the light world. And even when you're in a dungeon, and this is without defeating Aghanim, it thinks that you should have defeated Aghanim by the time you're here. So it'll just put you in the front of Thieves Town, but you'll be in the light world version. And when you exit the screen, you'll be Link. And as long as you stay on that screen, you will continue to be Link and continue to be in the fake dark world. Spleebie is doing one of his in-logic checks. This is Super Bunny Cave. You can clip up here, activate your portal, and then walk to Super Bunny Cave. And, you know, use it for its namesake. Get Super Bunny inside by falling in a pit. He'll probably just use the mirror because it's faster. So this is a pendant. He's going to have to make a decision. He's deciding not to continue. Decided he found enough items. He knows the Moon Pearl's not going to be in Thieves Town because you're not supposed to use the fake flute. You're supposed to just walk here as a bunny. Okay, Moon Pearl was in Village of Outcasts. So that was a logically required mirror Super Bunny after a mirror clip off the mountain. Now he can mirror back to the dark world because that's how the mirror works. It just toggles your world. Oh yeah, Spleebie's just doing TR. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the rod, but if there's a rod here, that could be beneficial for him. He's going to lose a little time again to death warping. I'm not sure where he got the full heal. Maybe he got a heart piece that healed him. That would have been unfortunate. Sometimes he just muscle memory healing at the old man as well. Now he has bombs and he can do... Oh, he can do Sick Kid now. That's nice. Sick Kid would have been awkward otherwise because he would have to lose his fake Dark World state to check this. Alright, continuing his route south. He actually has the option to do the Smith Chain, but he can come back to that later. Right now he wants to know what the Meyer Medallion is. See if he can find something in Hype Cave. Because, you know, Smith Chain is slow, even when you have the mirror. And he has the entire world available to him. He probably felt really ahead when he did Basement Clip and then felt less ahead when he found the hammer. But the Basement Clip still benefited him, so... It's kind of back to square one for both runners. Both of them will probably be feeling like they're neck and neck, as they are. They're just doing different checks. Oh, it is Bombos. Alright, we have another Go Mode item added to our list. We do need the Meyer Medallion, and that is Bombos. And it's right here in Turtle Rock. Thank you, Spleebie. Every time I mention an item for a player, the other item that shows up for the other player. This will be very interesting for Spleebie if Fire Rod is locked behind that Bombos medallion. Because forcing you to go into TR without a Fire Rod is really trolly, but if you're looking for a Moon Pearl, it can feel a little better. And there's silver arrows for Spleebie as well in the compass chest of Turtle Rock. Good stuff in here. Not the Moon Pearl, but still nice. And Spleebie doesn't know it, but that Bombos is needed. He's probably thinking the Bombos might be leading him to Ice Palace, too. You can fake Flipper to Ice and walk in and Death Warp, and that is in logic as well. The Bombos medallion is not actually required to get into most of Ice. You can clip past the first Freeze Orb, but if you want to full clear it and get Cold Stare, you do need a weapon for Cold Stare and Freeze Orb chest. Alright, Krithel is doing the Smith Chain, so he had to do Dig Game first so that he would actually be able to do Dig Game because it won't let you do it with a follower. I saw Spleebie hard reset. I missed why that was. Did he hard log? He tried to Death Mountain Descent, potentially. Oh, he's doing the... Yeah, this is a... It's an optimal Death Mountain Descent that he's doing, but it's precise, and if you miss, you hard lock and just have to start over. Thankfully, when you do this, you always do it from a save and quit, so you don't lose progress, but he's losing about the same time that Krithel was losing failing Hammer Yump, so they're really having this give and take of small execution errors that probably feel to them like they're falling behind more and more, but don't know that the other player is doing the same thing in different places. All right. He got it this time. So you see that mosaic transition. He's going to walk. I'm not really sure how this works, but he does have to fix his camera a little bit before transitioning south or north. So he's going to do some zigzag walking to make sure that he hits the transition correctly and doesn't hard lock down here. This will get him to his Moon Pearl pretty quickly. He's going to take a peek at Bumper Ledge first. I don't think Krithel did this. Oh, and it's the Fire Rod. This is big for Spleebie. Because when will Krithel come back to this? Maybe when he decides to do Thieves Town or Fire Rodless Skull Woods. That's a hard sell for him. So yeah, he orphaned this check by doing the fake flute instead of the DMD. If he does find it, it will hopefully lead him back to Turtle Rock to find Bombos. But I'm trying to imagine what will get you back to Bumper Ledge when it's the Fire Rod. Normally you would do this on the way to Skull Woods. Nothing but Butter Sword. So Spleebie is actually using this item to get a Super Bunny. And what he does is he uses a Super Bunny to teleport down. Teleporting does not take away your Super Bunny state. But it's a weird teleport that you have to remember how to do. And once he does it, he'll be able to pull this tree and be Link. So he gets the same benefit that Krithel got from fake fluting. I don't think he necessarily intended to do the Bumper Ledge Super Bunny, but because it was an item, he's doing it opportunistically. Alright, Krithel has done Stumpy last for some reason. I'm trying to figure out why that would be. Now maybe he wanted to go into Mire and clip into Swamp and do some door unlocking, but didn't have the opportunity because it was Bombos. Usually do Stumpy first when you do that. The teleporting up is fine. Oh yeah, he is delaying the Moon Pearl, but this isn't logic as well. Moon Pearl could have been here as well. He has the Fire Rod, so it makes a lot of sense for him to be here. This is a crystal he can clear. There's no reason not to do it. Krithel is climbing Death Mountain. Again, probably going to Hookshot Cave. He's got his hookshot out already. That Fire Rod is concerning, though. That is probably his biggest sticking point, because that's going to keep him out of Turtle Rock. The Moon Pearl is in Chess Game in Village of Outcasts. Alright, Spleebie is taking a death warp. He could have wall mastered to get link state, but it wouldn't give him fake dark world, and that's really what he wants, because fake dark world will allow him to do the back of Skullwoods as link instead of having to do a bunny glitch. Although the bunny glitch would have been cool, he would have had to get Super Bunny again in here, and that would have been slower. Spleebie, okay, he gets it. He says, I have one rod shot left. I'm going to use it on the torch that requires it. Good thinking. Yeah, the problem with the bunny thing is that there's a... You have to get Super Bunny to go inside so you can lift the pot to get to the bunny beam. So that wouldn't be very efficient. You might as well just death warp in the front. Alright, Skullwoods is done for Spleebie. Krithel is probably thinking Spike Cave into Ganon's Tower. This is a lucrative play. He doesn't have the Fire Rod, but he does have the hammer and the hook shot. That's going to give him most of Ganon's Tower. Ganon's Tower usually has something nice in it. There's no junk fill. You're expected to come in here with just a Moon Pearl and whatever it takes to clear the inside. And flippers are in Spike Cave. That's important. It's not going to lead him to the Fire Rod, but he does need this. So that's just Ice Rod from no mode for us. I think the flippers are maybe closer to Spleebie than the Fire Rod is to Krithel, so. Depending on where that Ice Rod is, if it's not behind the flippers, then Krithel could potentially lose time following those flippers into checks that will slow him down, like Folklore Swamp Palace or Pendant Ice. Spleebie has found his last item in Skullwoods and mirrored out. Now he has to remember to mirror. He's got his mirror out still. Does not forget to mirror to fix his world. Now when you mirror down here, you get some iframes that let you walk through the guard. So that's really where you want to do it. As a viewer, it's hard to know whether they're going to remember or not because they always wait until the last minute to mirror because it's optimal to do so. Now, I say Spleebie's not, or Krithel's not really finding anything here, but really all that's left for him to find is the Ice Rod, because we know the other locations are not in Ganon's Tower. And Spleebie will be doing his last in-logic check on this route, and it will lead to his Moon Pearl. I'm thinking, actually, the only thing left to him in logic is Sick Kid and Checkerboard Cave and Mire Shed, so... There's not much left for him to go to find it. Oh, Ice Palace is open too. Yeah, never mind. He had a lot left for the Moon Pearl. He's probably glad to find it here and not have it be in ice. Although with it being in ice, that would give him an advantage because he has the weapons for it. But it's not there, so... Okay, I can see why Krithel mirrored out of these. There's 3 items in the front. And it's a pendant. You don't go to the back in this scenario. No way. What is Krithel doing? Mapping by accident. Maybe thinking about his magic situation. He hasn't. I don't think he's found the big key yet, so he may or may not be able to climb. He could do the bomb jump that gets into the fire lock side of GT and get to full clear the thing. It's going to slow him down a little because Spleebie will have the fire rod going in here. The book and the cape and the compass. All right, time to go to the right side. How far does he go with this? Does he sequence break the right side so he can climb, or does he leave after the tile room? I think with the 3 keys in his pocket, he knows tile room is an item, so he's going to check this, definitely. But what does he do after? Does he continue? Spleebie is approaching Meyer, and he'll have the medallion, so we'll get to see some new checks as he full clears Meyer. No reason not to do that right now. He has everything he needs, and it is a crystal. Ten arrows, saves and quits. Krithel is 3 items from go mode, and one of them is the fire rod. So going through here would be a little risky. Ooh, nice dash from Spleebie. Getting through those sparks without taking damage. I actually missed if he jumped in the water. Not, and that makes it free. If you don't jump in the water, it's a first frame dash. Alright, and then we got Checkerboard Cave for Spleebie. Krithel immediately following that book. None of the things he's finding are leading him to the fire rod. I think Swamp Palace is probably on his mind, but he knows that it's probably locked behind Misery Meyer Medallion, which he knows he doesn't have, so he's not going to necessarily rush that yet. I think if he was in Meyer Medallion Go mode, he could do it, and then find out if it's possible for Meyer Medallion to be in there, and then when it's not, then he'll just Go mode it. But right now, he needs other things. Okay, he's Death Mountain Dissenting. This is good. He's going to find his Fire Rod. Bombos is in Turtle Rock, so Krithel is on the critical path, because the Fire Rod will make Turtle Rock a little bit more appealing for him. He'll be able to clear more of it and leave behind only Trinex, which is not that bad because you can just clip there. It's not like no glitches where you have to walk all the way through again. You can just mirror wrap and get straight to Trinex. So there we go. We got Fire Rod. He's going to clear Skull Woods and make a decision where to go next. Ganon's Tower is available again. You can go back in and get the Fire Rod lock chest, climb GT, potentially find the Ice Rod there. But we know he won't be finding Bombos. I think the best course of action for him is to do that, because that is a crystal that he knows he can do. Well, it's Ganon's Tower. It's not strictly a crystal, but it is required. Whereas Turtle Rock is missing 1 item for clearing. But Turtle Rock is also a really good play because of how easy it is to get back to Trinex, and you usually have to full clear it anyway just to get the big key. It's almost better if he doesn't find Bombos. If Ice Rod is just upstairs in GT, Krithel's going to be in a really good position because he'll be in Meyer Medallion Go mode, which usually sucks, but in this mode, Meyer Medallion can lock not 1, but 3 dungeons. We know it's locking Tower of Hera, so he'll get to skip the whole thing. It has a 1 in 10 chance of not locking Swamp and a 9 in 10 chance of locking Swamp, so very likely he'll get to Go mode that as well. But that all depends on the Fire Rod or the Ice Rod not being behind Bombos. As soon as the Ice Rod is in Swamp, then that doesn't really become possible. Oh, nice hammer dash. Oh, Spleebie is backtracking in Mire, so he's going to unlock Swamp. This actually surprises me because he does have the option to unlock Swamp from Hera instead. I think this is probably faster because he's already here. But if he knows that you know, he might be in Flipper Go mode if he finds Ice Rod first. So, ooh, careful. Oh, he hasn't done this check yet. Never mind. He's just doing the big key chest. I forgot that sometimes people skip this. It's a slow check, but it does make the clip to Swamp a little easier. I would be surprised if he went into Swamp. He has an equally fast option available to him, and he can do it later when he has the flippers and it's in logic. This is a bad layout for Skullwoods. You had to go to Mothula to get one of the items, and you had to go to the front to get the other. And one of the items was a fetch quest, too. So both runners have the mushroom, and they haven't turned it in. Krithel, where is he going? He has two options from here. It's going to be Turtle Rock or Ganon's Tower. Which one does he choose? Highly doubt he goes up Hera, knowing that Mire Medallion could be his go mode. Nope, he's doing it. Wow, this is a play. Alright, so he knows that Bombos can't be here. But he doesn't know that Ice Rod can't be here. Because it can be. Ice Rod could totally be here. We know it can't be because we saw Spleebie get all the items, but he doesn't know that. And Ice Rod could also be in Swamp, and so if he really wanted to, he could full clear it. Spleebie's going for prize on the eyes. This is a stun prize play, I guess. You have silver arrows, Spleebie. What are you doing? It looks cool, but I don't think you need that. I think he just likes the glitch. It's a cool glitch. We want to prove the naysayers wrong. Do prize on the eyes. Put some hearts on the ground. And don't even collect them. Just admire them. If the stun prize was arrows, he could have, I guess, filled up. But then you just collect them immediately. It wouldn't really matter. Krithel is getting the item from Moldorm. Being very thorough in these plays. Which is interesting, because he knows it can't be here. He just doesn't know the Ice Rod situation. So he wants to cover all his bases. Oh yeah, walking back here without the flippers is a little awkward. Trying to think of where Spleebie hasn't been yet. I guess he hasn't been to Hype Cave. Yeah, he's just now doing this route, of course. He hasn't been to Hype Cave yet, or Stumpy. Krithel is not going to Mirror Wrap. He's going to go in through the middle. So I don't think Krithel expects to find the Ice Rod here. He's not being that optimistic. This is actually nice for him because he will not find... Well, he could find the Ice Rod. There are things Spleebie didn't do. He didn't have the Fire Rod. Or didn't go to the Laser Bridge. But I think Krithel knows that no matter what he does, he's going to do Mimic Cave, so he's starting with it. And if he finds the Ice Rod here, that does save time. And getting back to Trinex is, as I said, very easy in this mode. So when he gets Bombos, he has a lot available to him. He will be in an Ice Rod hunt. So will Spleebie. I think Spleebie's going to Ganon's Tower now, so he'll also get his flippers and be in Ice Rod Go mode for a different reason. Spleebie will have the opportunity to full clear Ganon's Tower in one trip as well. No, Spleebie. Skipping Spike Cave. Did he forget, or is this a calculated move of it's probably just in Ganon's Tower and Spike Cave is slow? Either way, he has left behind the flippers, and getting back here is going to be very tough for him because he can full clear the place and have no reason to come back. And there's Bombos for Krithel. Suddenly in a better position because Spleebie skipped a critical item in Spike Cave and will have a hard time routing that back in. Meanwhile, Ice Rod is a wild card. There are plenty of bad places it could be, but first, for it to matter, Spleebie does have to find the flippers. If the flippers are not locking the Ice Rod, Spleebie could potentially have gain some of that time back by not having to full clear Swamp. Because he'll get bottlenecked into the flippers, whereas getting bottlenecked into the Ice Rod isn't really something you can hope for in any mode. Ice Rod only unlocks one thing, so you can search the entire world for it. So the difference might be, Krithel full clears Swamp and doesn't find the Ice Rod, and Spleebie goes somewhere else because he has very little left to do, and then gets bottlenecked into the flippers. Or it could be that the Ice Rod is behind the flippers and Spleebie has to find the flippers first and then go full clear all the same things that Krithel full cleared and lose a ton of time. We just don't know what's going to happen. Worth noting that Spleebie did not find the Ice Rod in the right side of Ganon's Tower. There is still the climb available to him and the big chest. The big chest is potentially bad for Krithel because it's awkward to get. He would have to walk all the way to the big chest just to get the big chest after getting his big key, and it's not going to be very appealing to him. Whereas Spleebie can just get it right now because he got the big key first. Ice Rod is not in Turtle Rock. Krithel is going to save and quit out because he has run out of things to do here. Saves and quits to the mountain. Ganon's Tower is probably his next play. He has all of the right side and the climb to do, and both of those will be required. So might as well do them now when all that's left for you is a whole bunch of stuff in Swamp Palace that you want to skip. Another thing Krithel will be able to do is he'll be able to do Bombo's Tablet because he hasn't done Meyer yet, and Bombo's Tablet is kind of nearby. He could walk there if he thinks of it. It can be kind of tough to route in. It's a little awkwardly placed. You have to go south, and then probably the best way to do it would be to just clip to Bombo's Tablet in the light world and then clip to the rock at Foot 6. It's climb time for Krithel, and it's going to be climb time for Spleebie as well. Very shortly, we're going to get some simultaneous Ganon's Tower climbs. And unknown checks we haven't seen yet. That could be the Ice Rod. If it is the Ice Rod, then Krithel has a commanding lead, having already found the flippers. Who misses the Mimic. He has plenty of health, though. Nobody's really in danger climbing on this equipment. The red mail slowed them down earlier, but it is going to make this a lot easier and safer, and they can just plow through it without having to worry about the resources. Spleebie considered the fairy and realized it's not worth it. You have 10 hearts and red mail, you're fine. Spleebie also doing a map buffer in GT. Both of them checked their maps here, I think by accident. Spleebie was going for an item dash in the bridge room and hit the wrong button. Mirroring each other even this late in the game. Yeah, people are asking why the flippers are still required for Swamp, because yeah, you can actually do a swim clip inside Swamp to get to the middle part, but at the very end of the dungeon there is a waterway where the water flows, and you cannot swim clip that room. So we do need the flippers to get to Argus. I think Spleebie is gaining on Krithel a little bit, going up the tower. It's a bit of a false lead because Krithel is up an item, and both of them are going to the same locations, and if that pattern continues, then Spleebie will be perpetually behind. But if Spleebie immediately goes back to Spike Cave to clean up that check, he could potentially catch up. One thing I missed earlier is whether Spleebie had found the big key in Turtle Rock when he went in there first. I don't think he did, because I think he didn't have very many places to go. After he found Bombos, he went down and got the silver arrows and left. So I think he still has to go back in to get the big key, even when he does find the Ice Rod. So his position is not very comfortable right now, even if he finds Go Mode at the same time. Ice Rod is not in Ganon's Tower. They're going to have to look elsewhere. But this is required, so not wasted time. Alright, Aghanim for Krithel. This is a really difficult boss fight to optimize, and he gets a triple, I believe, on the first one. This is not a great pattern. He'll get probably a double. Oh, gets a blue ball, never mind. Gets trolled. This is also a not great pattern, but manages to get a double out of it anyway. It looks like that other one didn't count as a triple, because he does have to get another cycle. And now we got Spleebie's Aga fight. Wow, Spleebie caught up. He was a little bit behind Krithel, and now he's just Aghanim behind. Yeah, so Spleebie went in, and he actually found Bombos and Silvers in front of TR. And I think if he did or didn't check the big key chest, he'll know that the Fire Rod is in the front, and he'll be able to walk in from the front door, and I believe that's a little faster than trying to walk all the way from Laser Bridge. But it's still slower than just going straight to Trinex, like Krithel will be able to do. Krithel is taking his mirror out. Where is he going? It almost looks like he's going for catfish. I think he didn't. Oh, he has a mushroom to turn in. Okay, mushroom into catfish. That makes a ton of sense. I forgot about the mushroom. Neither of them has checked it. Where does Spleebie go from here? He bonks over the Ganon pit. Walks down. He has plans as well. Probably doing the same thing. I can't imagine where else he would be going. Nope, he's going to Hammer Pegs and Smith Chain. Maybe he wants to fake powder. Krithel is turning in his green pendant. This is in logic now that he has Bombos, so it makes sense to do this. This is the best time to get here. Gets 10 arrows for his troubles. I think his next play, probably a dungeon, probably Swamp Palace. Saves and quits to the mountain. Gets his hook shot out. He's going to clip to Hera. He is not going to clip to Hera? Where is he going? Oh, he's going to super jump to Mire. This makes sense. This is also a crystal. So Mire and then Swamp. Swamp is the dungeon you could potentially save the most time in by go moding. So this is a speedrun route you take where you do a super jump where you jump 8 times. Every time you jump, that your global position gets offset, just like it does when you do the Mirror Pyramid Fairy. The next time he does a left or right screen transition, it will take him where his global position says he is, and that is the bottom of the map. Now he can get into Mire with this weird Hershey Squares rain. He knows it's Bombos. It's actually good memory. Maybe he has a tracker, but he will use Bombos here, get the screen nice and scrolly, and open Mire while his camera tries its best to correct itself. Meanwhile, Spleebie has indeed set up the fake powder. If this is Ice Rod, this could potentially pay off for him. Because fake powder is a very low percent play. Krithel has already turned in his mushroom and does not have that available to him. It is just 5 rupees. The thing with fake powder is, normally it's kind of weird to do because it's like out of logic, but when the thing you're looking for is the Ice Rod, the logic doesn't really matter anymore because the only thing preventing it is powder on Trinex. And what are the odds that powder is on Trinex? Powder could just be anywhere else. I think Spleebie will... Yeah, he's taking his purple chest, leaving it behind on purpose. He's going to do a trick called Invisible Purple Chest, where the follower that... It's a follower that says the purple chest is still behind him. It's actually still there. We just can't see it. But the guy who gives you the item does see it, and he loads in a different version of himself that gives you the item. So you just mirror right next to him, and briefly he thinks you have the item, and then he loads in as the generous version of himself. You can clip down here and mirror. Saves you a little time. And Spleebie doesn't have to worry about activating the flute or anything like that. Bombos tablet, thank you. I don't think we've seen this yet. Just bombs. So it's starting to look like swamp or ice for our Ice Rod. I'm also trying to remember if either runner has done catfish. Spleebie is going to... This looks like Ice Palace or Swamp. Oh, he's doing a fake flipper. Okay, he doesn't have the flippers, of course. He's going to turn in his mushroom. Spleebie is actually running out of checks, but Ice Palace has been in logic for him for a while, and this might tempt him in, and it might be the Ice Rod there, so it might not be a waste of time. It might even help him, because if the Ice Rod is there, Krithel will almost certainly full clear Swamp before going in. Okay, I'm being informed that Krithel may have done catfish. So it's not there. Alright, what is left for Spleebie besides Ice Palace and... Yeah, this is... Alright, this might be a Spike Cave. It's not that slow to do Spike Cave. It's just hard to justify. But when the other thing you have is Pendant Ice, maybe you don't want to do it. He's correcting his camera, which is interesting. He does have checks in TR that he hasn't done yet, and he has Ether Tablet. Turtle Rock is definitely got to be on his mind too. He went in there super early and left behind a ton of checks. And yeah, he is going to the mountain. I don't remember if he did. I actually don't remember if he did Hookshot Cave yet. If he didn't do Hookshot Cave yet, he'll probably do that first. This is not the setup to mirror wrap to DR, so he is probably doing Hookshot Cave. He did do Super Bunny, but he didn't have the Moon Pearl when he was here last, so this is 4 easy checks for him. Probably feels a little behind if something is here, and he'll be relieved to find nothing. Maybe that Kane will clue him in that the flippers are available for him in Spike Cave. He does have the... He already had the cape, so it's in logic that maybe the Kane will give him a little extra hint in the right direction. Meanwhile, Krithel cleans up Vitreous with the silver arrows. No prize on the eyes shenanigans, just straightforward Silver's fight. Spleebie is also cleaning up Catfish, making sure that he gets his bases covered. This is a hard one to route in if you leave it behind. But pretty easy one to do from the mountain. The downside to Catfish is it does essentially end your route. Alright. So Krithel is not going to swamp from here. I think he has decided that coming from Hera is probably faster, so he's going to do that instead. He also has Bomba's Tablet available, so doing Swamp would take him away from Bomba's Tablet, and that would be difficult to route back in. Spleebie is screen wrapping himself. This is probably the Spike Cave play. I think he is running out of checks. It's that or Back of Thieves or Ice Palace. None of those appeal to him, so he just does this one first to get it out of the way, and he will find his flippers. So Krithel is going into Swamp. If Spleebie also goes into Swamp, Krithel is a little bit ahead, but not actually by that much, mostly just by the TR play. So Spleebie will have to go back in for that big key. Well, this is suddenly very close. But that TR play is going to set Spleebie back a little bit once he does hit go mode. So the only hope for Spleebie, I think, at that point was to go into Ice Palace looking for the flippers and find the Ice Rod there. That would have evened this up quite a bit. But it looks like Krithel does have a bit of a lead. Both of them doing the dash clip method very cleanly as well. Krithel is doing a bomb diver down for some reason. I guess that's more comfortable for him. And he hopefully remembers to grab a key before going up the stairs, and he does. That's very good. Remembering to use it as well is another sticking point for a lot of runners. Spleebie going for the Kane setup for diver down. Turns around, opens the door. Very good. That's what you want to see. Very sad to see somebody go all the way through here only to forget to unlock the door and then go back in and find themselves locked out of Swamp once again and have to go through the whole clipping sequence again just to open that door. Spleebie also remembers to pick up his key. Also turns around, opens the door, ignores the chest. You might be wondering why they're not getting the chest now, because if they did find the big key of Swamp, it would become a big key of Hera, and then they would not be able to open the big chest of Swamp without clipping through Hera again or backtracking. So this is the more efficient way to do Swamp Palace. A small key of Swamp also makes Swamp a little bit better, because if you find the small key, you actually have a free extra small key that you can use to skip the pot key right before Argus, or potentially full clear left side a little bit more efficiently after doing Argus. There was a big key in that chest, so if they did open that, they would have been forced to backtrack to get to the big chest. So both of them making the correct decision to put it off until they're in the correct dungeon state so that the key gets assigned to the correct dungeon. The big key for Spleebie as well. Just trailing behind a little bit in Swamp, but has that debt to pay off in Turtle Rock, so it's not as close as it looks. One thing that could slow down Krithel is if he finds the powder here and has to check it, whereas Spleebie already did the fake powder. That would lose him a little bit of time. But it's much more likely he just finds the Ice Rod or goes straight into Ice Palace after Swamp if he doesn't. Because Ice Palace is right there. You can just clip to it using a mirror wrap. Or you can mirror and swim if you wanted to be safe. Krithel is doing left side first. Let's see if Spleebie does that. That could also make the difference. If one of them goes to the back and one of them goes left, then yeah, Spleebie goes to the back. This could turn the tides. If the Ice Rod is in the back of Swamp, Krithel loses time to Spleebie. No, misses the bomb diver down. Does Krithel not know the diver down with the cane? Very interesting. It is not in the diver down room. It is not here either in Waterfall Chest. Krithel is approaching his chest in left side Swamp, and we'll be finding out soon if it's here at all. Because if neither of them finds the Ice Rod, then it's in Ice Palace. I don't think there's anything left for either runner, if I'm not mistaken. Except for back of Thieves Town and Pedestal and Ice Palace. It's pretty nasty for both. I don't think anyone can be expected to go to back of Thieves Town when 3 items are in the front. So that will probably be their last location before pulling Ped. Just a compass on left side. Krithel does have to backtrack to get to Argus. Spleebie will have to make a decision to go back in or not for 1 item. So Spleebie could save time if he decides to go straight to Ice Palace and Krithel does not. Well, Krithel already did left side Swamp, so if Spleebie decides to go back in, then he loses that time. If he decides to go straight to Ice Palace, and Krithel does, Spleebie will be in Ice Palace first, and will be gaining some time back from Krithel. He goes back in. This is going to cost him a little bit of time. But at this rate, there's not very much left for him, so it makes sense to do this. Yeah, it does look like Krithel's cane technique is based on the kind of optimal speedrun method, and that's probably why he's been using the bombs for the other channels. Krithel just ran past the chest in Ice Palace and Swamp Palace. Uh-oh. Did I miss him picking up the Ice Rod? Or did he just forget? I really hope he actually just forgets and just thinks he picked it up, and then I can tell him after the race that he ran past the chest. I saw this happen to somebody in League once. And I think it didn't matter. Oh, he counted his items. Wow, that's Galaxy Brain. Okay. You're right. The map is in that chest and the small key is in Argus, and he knows that. Yeah, it's hard to count items when you're seeing chests opened by both players in different parts of the dungeon at the same time. But for him, he's probably counting his items pretty carefully and knows that they're mapping small key. Very good point. Little time save for him too, getting to run past that chest. Spleebie was lucky that the small key was on Argus and not in left side, because if it was on left side and it was like the compass on Argus, he would have had to do the slower version of left side Swamp. But he does get that extra small key that'll let him do it as if he was doing it first. Krithel is going to Ice Palace. This is one place where he could lose time. If something goes wrong with this clip, he could potentially hardlock and lose all of Swamp Palace. Same thing could happen to Spleebie. Misses the hook dash. Has chosen to take the safer method of mirroring. So he's going to mirror and use his mitts to get into Ice Palace the normal way. Krithel is doing the very safe setup, buffering his sword to make sure he doesn't get too close to that bad transition. Gets in safely, just a little bit ahead of Spleebie. Interesting to see how little time Spleebie lost to doing left side Swamp Blast. It's actually quite slow to backtrack out of left side, so both routes took about the same amount of time. All right, look at this. I kind of had wished that Spleebie still had the big key of TR, so this could be even closer, but it is still very close. Spleebie just has to run to the front, open the door, and then get his big key, and then go to try next. Krithel just goes straight to try next, so we'll have a little bit of a lead going into Turtle Rock, but they are going into Pin Gators together. Krithel is choosing to do a double spin method. Spleebie has done the Tajso bomb setup, which is a little bit faster and gains time on Krithel in this room. Spleebie has a cleaner icebreaker, gets to Ice Rod first, and mirrors out. Saves and quits. Spleebie lost a little time mirroring. Krithel's going to be in the mountain first. Spleebie is going to mirror wrap straight to Laser Bridge, just like he did last time. Well, he didn't actually last time. He went to Laser Bridge from the middle. This is going to be our first mirror wrap to Turtle Rock of the Seed. Spleebie is following behind, but he has to take a detour to get his big key first. So they're going to appear to be going to the same place, but they're going to split off. Spleebie is going to go across the bridge, open Turtle Rock from the front, and get his key, because that's the fastest way to do this at the moment. Krithel is going to attempt the mirror wrap. Misses the first two tries. Gets the mirror bonk. Loses a little time to Spleebie. Gets it the third time. Has not opened this door yet, so he menus the bombs because he knows he needs them to open this door. But can just dash straight to try next, and will be taking his 7th crystal first, and will be the first one into Ganon. Yeah, imagine how much closer this would be if the big key had just been in the chest that Spleebie could get to when he was here first. Ooh, Krithel misses the backdoor strat, but has the better sword, so the fight still will end pretty quickly. Gets a second cycle on Trinex. Spleebie will get his big key and mirror out. He needs a small key too, so he's going to get that chest as well. Does not want to have to open chests on Laser Bridge. Now he has to clip to TR. He has a couple options. He can drop down to the land bridge and mirror wrap, or he can do the mirrorless setup at the bridge where the Lionels are. I think most people... Oh, he's going to go through the middle. Okay, that's also an option. Well, this is not going through the middle. This is going to the land bridge. So he's going to do the mirror wrap. This is probably the fastest way to get to Trinex from that location. Gets to the edge. Hits the mirror on the same frame. Does a couple inputs to make sure that he hits the transition correctly and doesn't soft lock on the rock. Krithel saves and quits and is going to walk to Ganon. Spleebie still has to fight Trinex. That is about how far behind he is all of Trinex. Krithel does have the silver arrows, so he will be having the same fight as Spleebie and Ganon, so there isn't going to be that difference. Spleebie also going for the backdoor strat. Gets it. And it gets the 0 cycle too. Very nice. Saves a little time, but it probably won't be enough unless something disastrous happens to Krithel at the Ganon fight. A Ganon fall could make it happen, but it does look like Krithel is in a strong lead here. With the Butter Sword and the Red Mail, this is going to be a very safe and easy fight for both runners. Gets his arrows out, getting ready to sink in some arrows into Ganon immediately, not messing around with the torch. Spleebie just has to make the same trek that Krithel made, saving quite out of TR. And go to the portal here. It's a lot of warps for Ganon. It's not going to matter because both of them will get the same warps, but it does prolong the fight a little bit. Gets a nice double setup for Ganon on silver arrows. Gets the non-torch glitch, which is actually what you want for silvers, because you can set up another double as he teleports up by freezing him in the middle. And Krithel has killed Ganon. And finishes with an official race time.gg time of 1:36.28, just as Spleebie drops into the fight. It's got to be heart-pounding. You're running to Ganon, and your opponent hasn't finished yet. And right as you drop in, you see that dot done. And we are joined by Krithel. GG.
GG, thank you.
So, basement clip, I think that made the difference. I mean, a lot of things made the difference, but even though the hammer was in Eastern, Spleebie had to go back in and death warp on Red Mail, and that took a lot of time. So I want to say like that was around the difference that you guys have going into Ganon. He dropped into Ganon right as he finished.
Yeah,
of course,
okay.
There was a lot of route diversions as well.
Yeah.
Did different Moonprol searches. You found yours first. He went into Ganon. He actually went into TR and found the Meyer medallion earlier than you, but skipped flippers on the way to GT. So he just didn't do Spike Cave. I think he decided that Spike Cave is slow and he's 2 items from Go mode. And has all of GT available.
Yeah, it was an easy one to skip that.
Yeah. Alright, Spleebie has finished as well. So yeah, going into this one, we know this is going to be close. So you guys are both like really strong runners. And most of these final stage matches have come close because of how skilled everyone is and how much practice you've had getting these seeds figured out. A little unfortunate it had to end in an ice rod hunt, but there was some really cool sync up happening in Ice Palace. The main difference being Spleebie hadn't gotten his big key of TR yet, so had to make a detour on the way.
Oh, he didn't get the big key. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you actually
very early,
you were on the save and quit screen at the same time to like old man to go to TR, and it would have been so exciting. Except Spleebie had to split off and get his big key first, and that was enough time for you to have an entire Ganon fight ahead of him. So, yeah. All right, and Spleebie has joined us as well. GG, very exciting match.
Hey, thanks. GG Krithel.
GG. Good old ice rod hunts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Merle hunts and hammer
hunts and hammer
yeah, the flippers. So that was a decision, right? Not a mistake. I was assuming it was a decision to skip Spike Cave.
Skipping Spike Cave?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't have any. I didn't have Burnout or Cape or any fairies or potions.
Oh, you didn't have Cape?
So I only had like 8
Cape
hearts or something.
GT.
Oh, Cape was in GT. Oh,
Yeah.
That makes even more sense. Of course, you don't do Spike Cave out of logic.
Yeah, I could have gone and gotten a potion or something, but
no, you don't do that. You just do after. Yeah. No way. I agree. You don't do Spike Cave when you don't have those items. When you have all of GT available. It was just a little unfortunate that the flippers were there. You actually there was a world where you go into ice looking for the flippers and find the ice rod and potentially gain time, but given that they were in icebreaker chests and you got to skip the pack of ice, that may not have been enough.
Yeah, I would have lost at least as much as you gained there.
I don't know if you noticed, but Krithel did basement clip
Oh.
and then found the hammer immediately. It was kind of comical, but he actually did save time on it, pulled it off really cleanly, and didn't have to do the death warp to go back in.
Red mail death warp. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you had some pretty fun death warps.
Pretty sad when your hammer jump is worse than basement clip. I had some real trouble there. I kind of offset that time by getting a clean
how it goes,
clip.
though.
Yeah.
And you hadn't done the basement clip yet, so you're thinking, well, God, I can't do this. What's the basement clip going to be like? Well, turns out you just make it look easy. It's insane. Like, it actually looked like Yuzuhara was doing it.
Getting to pull out the bow for it's pretty fun. No bug net this time.
Yeah.
One day.
It's funny that the one thing that slowed you down in basement clip was getting spin speed. As you always joke.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Getting spin speed at the beginning.
Just checking you're in spin speed state helps. But...
Yeah. The power of pressing B.
Too hard. Too hard for me.
So unfortunately, SpeedGaming does not have the resources to have another restream. But if you want to join us in the Discord, the tournament Discord, we can have a watch party in the race watching chat and look at game 2 and hope that maybe we get a game 3 that will be restreamed tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern.
That sounds fun. I think I'll join that. The watch party.
Yeah, of course. Well, the watch party for the restream as well. You probably want to watch this one back because it was pretty exciting. But otherwise, I'll put the runners in chat so you can follow them because they're going to be racing in approximately an hour. A little over an hour. We'll be picking this up again. And then I'll be there watching as well. If you pop into the tournament Discord, I'll actually post the tournament Discord link in the SpeedGaming chat so that you can join the tournament Discord and watch with us. Well, and that's that. As the credits roll, I'd like to give a thanks to our silent tracker, other Tom, who has been reliably keeping the stream informed on who has gotten what, especially with solo comms. It's really hard to follow both runners as they go through the checks, so having that tracker available is indispensable. Also give a thank you to both of our runners for putting on this show for us and for SpeedGaming for hosting it. There will be more hybrid major glitches to come tomorrow. If there is a game 3, it will be at 3 p.m. as we said. And then the following week or the week after will be our finals and bronze matches. So you're not done with Spleebie and Krithel. Even if they do get eliminated, they will be showing up for bronze match. PRD Wong has taken the win in the semifinals race and will be playing in finals. And Aussie will be playing in the bronze match against the loser of Spleebie and Krithel. So keep an eye out on those runners as well. It's going to be very exciting as we conclude this tournament. Any final thoughts from Spleebie, Krithel?
Thank you for commentating. I look forward to watching it back.
Yeah, thanks for the restream. Hopefully we have an early hammer for the next one.
Hey, so Eastern is Sphere 1. That's early, right?
No. Not early enough.
Hey, it's, at least it wasn't actually a hammerless seed because it could have been, because GT did not lock the hand. GT did not require a hammer. It looks like Ice Palace logically required one for the ice rod, but you could have icebreakered past that.
we needed a hammer for pod. I did, at least.
No, that's what I mean, though, is if Hammer had been somewhere nasty, then Krithel didn't need the hammer for pod.
Yeah.
It would have been hammerless. But it did speed up some things like Swamp Palace. All right, let's hope for another close match and hope for a game 3 and we can watch tomorrow. Nothing against Krithel. I do want to see a game 3. So good luck, Spleebie. Good luck, Krithel, in the next round.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And that will be that for our stream. Good day, everybody.